My guest tonight is a London-based singer-songwriter and, check this out, practicing psychotherapist who's just dropped his debut track with a man like Rishi Rich. And to talk all about it, give it up for the amazing Velvet Soul Experience. Yes, my brother.
Hey Akshay, how are you, brother? How's things?
All good, man. Glad to have you up on the show. What's London saying?
Thank you. Yeah, all good. Freezing at this time of year, but can't complain, as they say.
Absolutely. But listen, my brother, before we get into the music, we want to know about you, all right? So, what is, firstly, all right, okay, if you don't mind me telling everybody, your name is Pritesh, but your stage name is the Velvet Soul Experience. So before anything else, I want to know the origin story behind that stage name.
So the name came about with me trying to find something unique, something a bit different, but also something that encapsulated a style of R&B that was classic, that was a bit kind of sophisticated, hence the sort of word velvet, soul. And then I want to give people an experience. I find a lot of R&B these days, there's some great tracks, but there's a lot of R&B that's a bit sort of disposable, that some of it lacks that feeling that you used to get back in the day.
Yeah.
So I want to give that people an experience where they feel the music in their soul, which is how the name came about, basically.
There we go. If you didn't know, we know now. But listen, how did you stumble and fall into this whole music game, man?
So I've been basically a bedroom sort of singer for many, many years, pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
Never really thought I could do anything with it or take it seriously, but always had an aim of one day releasing a track or making a few tracks.
Yeah.
And basically what happened, the sort of origin story, if you like to sort of call it that, was a long time ago. A friend of a friend knows Rishi's cousin called Amit, who a lot of the listeners will know as Mentor Beats.
Yeah.
The guy that created the absolutely iconic Saunier with Juggy D. So anyway, long story short, I had his number in my phone for a long time. Last year I made the original version of Inside Mine. Got in touch with Amit because I wanted to do a remix that had a Desi feel. Got in touch with him, said, look, I want to maybe remix this track. What do you think? Had a listen. And he said, I think maybe this is more Rishi's lane. So he reached out to Rishi. I wasn't really expecting anything. I thought, okay, well, let's see what happens. Not long after, Rishi messages me. At first I thought, is it a prank or something? Is it actually Rishi?
Yeah.
Anyway, we spoke on the phone and talked about the track. Very quickly things moved on, met up. He created the remix. And the rest is history, as they say.
Absolutely, man. I mean, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into the track, but again, you know, just talking about you and music, your love for music. You know, who are your influences, or who have been or still are your influences, Pritesh?
My influences are probably quite cliched. Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. A lot of old school artists like Marvin Gaye. At a young age, I was always into artists that were maybe one generation before me.
Yeah.
And I was always gravitating towards that. So I was always kind of singing Michael Jackson covers.
Yeah.
I've always been a wedding singer. So over the years, I've always sung at friends and families' wedding receptions.
Yeah.
Singing Michael Jackson or Stevie Wonder, those sort of tracks.
Yeah.
Up to, modern artists like Usher, Jay Sean, people like, if you're thinking about today, like Daniel Caesar, Brent Faiyaz.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a very wide range of inspirations, but a lot of the inspirations are from back in the day. You know, the classic artists that, you're going to hear from generation to generation.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. And, do you come from a musical family, my brother?
Absolutely, absolutely. So my dad basically, he is a professional singer. For many years, he had his own band called the Sati Group back in the 80s, 90s. They used to do a lot of performances at weddings, birthdays, occasions, all sorts of things. So music was always around me growing up. I'd always hear him sort of banging out Kishore Kumar or Rafi or Mukesh.
Yeah.
And so I always grew up with that. And for some reason, I always gravitated to the R&B side of things. I just found it hard go down the Hindi route, so
Yeah.
R&B was more my sort of lane.
Yeah.
And then my grandfather, my dad's dad, he was also a professional sort of musician that sang ghazals and qawwali and that sort of stuff
Yeah.
back in Tanzania. So it's in the blood. Music's always been part of my life.
Absolutely, man. And do you know what? Did your dad have any kind of words of wisdom, for you when you when you kind of, step foot into this world of music?
Yeah, I mean, he just said, look, give it your best shot. Try not to get too nervous. Put your heart and soul to it.
Yeah.
Do your best, and that's all you can do at the end of the day. Very reassuring. Always very supportive. He's always pushed me, but it's more recently that I kind of took it more seriously. And yeah, his support's been invaluable, really.
Absolutely. Now listen, Presh, let's talk about this brand new track. It's called Inside Mine. All right.
That's
So
right.
so break this track down, man. Again, where did the influence for this track come from, man? I believe there's there's a bit of personal reflection in this track, man. Break it down.
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of singer-songwriters, a lot of songs are going to come from lived experience, personal experience. So a lot of it came from that. And basically the whole essence of the track is me trying to capture what I think is missing in a lot of tracks today, which is just really capturing the essence of a love story. Boy and girl meet, they fall in love, the love story unfolds, and me trying to capture that in a sort of timeless kind of way. And the original track that I created was basically me aiming to create kind of a first dance type of track, something that people can really connect to, that everyone has maybe a little bit of kind of connection to that sort of moment where you meet someone, you fall in love,
Yeah.
and you got that sort of happily ever after. And that was kind of the whole vibe of the track, basically.
Okay. Do you know what? I always feel that it's really tough to put pen to paper and write a romantic song, right? But, without, I think there's that borderline of you could just do a little bit too much and you could end up sounding really
Yeah.
cheesy. Do you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
do you know what I mean? So how did you kind of reach that, keep that balance, as it were?
Well, I had to kind of revise it, rewrite it, but basically it was just me studying similar sort of tracks,
Yeah.
letting other people hear it, getting some feedback, and then, there's a very fine line between it being maybe cheesy and too cliched,
Yeah.
and then not that way.
Yeah.
So it was just, I don't know, it just came kind of naturally. I think I've heard so many of these sort of tracks over the years, hundreds, and if not thousands.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a feel of what might work, what might not work. But yeah, it can very easily get cheesy or cliched, so I was always very mindful of that, and had to kind of rewrite it a few times until I thought maybe this is the right
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the balance is there.
Absolutely. So listen, let's go back to you working with Rishi. When you sat down with Rishi to talk about the remix, obviously, Rishi's just a legend in the game, man, but
Absolutely.
did you have an idea, of the direction you wanted to take even for the remix, that you wanted the production to go in the direction, and what was that conversation like with Rishi?
Yeah, so, I mean, the aim was just to get a bit of that Rishi-rich magic where I can blend the two worlds of classic sort of R&B meets that Desi fusion. So
Yeah.
we kind of talked about that, had a few ideas, and basically getting that iconic Rishi-rich flute
Yeah.
was something that was always an aim. And, when we met up very, very quickly, we were both on the same page in terms of what we wanted. And after literally a few minutes of conversation, if anyone's seen Rishi work, it's absolutely incredible. He was banging out all these chords, coming out with melodies, drum patterns. Within a few minutes, there was a skeleton of what could have been the song. And then basically, just from there, he came up with the production, added a few of the nuances, and that flute that he's got in there and everything else, it just completely vibes with the lyrics and the direction of the song.
Absolutely, man. And, look, the remix is out, and obviously so is the original, man. You know what? I mean, this is your debut track, Priyesh.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback have you had, man?
So the feedback's been really good. I mean, the original wasn't released very long ago. It was released around sort of August time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said it captures that old style of R&B that you might have had in the sort of early 2000s. where a lot of people refer to it as yearning R&B. I don't know if you heard that sort of phrase. People are kind of missing those sort of tracks where people are kind of yearning for that sort of love, that classic feel. So there was that feedback, but then right now the feedback from the remix has been very, very positive. A lot of good feedback. People have said, okay, this fusion works really well. They like the kind of direction of the track, the lyrics. So far it's been really, really good sort of feedback.
Amazing. And I've got to ask you, we've got to touch upon the fact that you practice as a psychotherapist, which, I'm sure gives you a deep understanding of the human vulnerability and emotions. And I'm sure that helps in the songwriting process.
100%, because my job is all about connecting to emotions, responding to emotions, and ultimately at the end of the day trying to change emotions. So the big kind of commonality between music and my job is at the end of the day I'm trying to help people go from one state of mind, which might be a bit negative, to something more positive. I'm constantly kind of coming into contact with people who are sharing their life experiences, their stories, and that all kind of can get reflected in my songwriting. So there's a few other songs I've written where I've added a few things in from my line of work, because you hear about things and things that can make a good basis of songs. With real human kind of emotion and connection.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Pritesh, we can't wait for everything else you've got coming. We are really loving and vibing to this one. Can we expect a video? I mean, is there going to be a video out maybe for this track?
Yeah, I'd say at some point, probably in the next few months, next year, that at some point there will be that.
Okay.
We had a brief chat, myself and Rishi, about that, but no sort of firm ideas, but I'm sure at some point that will come.
Well, like I said, man, we are going to watch this space. Come back and speak to us again real soon. We can't wait for everything you got coming, and hopefully more collabs with Rishi, because you guys knocked it out of the park with this one. Ladies and gentlemen, the Velvet Soul Experience, aka Pritesh, up on the show right about now. Bro, just remind everybody, if they want to follow you, find out more about you, man, what are your handles, man?
So my handle is Velvet Soul Experience, all one word, no dots, on Instagram and TikTok. You can find me there.
There we go. And bro, listen, first time up on my show, I can't just let you just go off just like that, right? So listen, before we drop the track and I get you to introduce it, just listen, just a couple of lines, man. Hit us up with a couple of lines.
Of the song?
Of the song, man. What did you think?
I've not even warmed up, man.
Go on, do your best. Just a couple of lines, my brother.
Okay. If you feel what I feel, when you smile, I smile. Words left unspoken. Well, in your absence, I'm broken.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And my brother, it's only right you introduce the track before I drop it.
Okay. This is the Velvet Soul Experience with Rishi Rich, Inside Mine, the remix.
Let's go.
It's going down, you heard me? Surface Radio.
Rishi Rich Remix.
The Velvet Soul Experience.
Did you feel what I felt when I smiled and you smiled? Words left unspoken. Girl, in your absence, I'm broken. But just from your presence, I'm alive. But just from your essence, I know you feel what I'm feeling. You, my mind and soul is healing. Something that's meant to be. And get a future's uncertain. But I can need some of that burden, baby. I'm lost, but your love, it guides me. When I'm in need, your heart's beside me. Your love, it gives me redemption. You, my soul's found salvation. Oh,
There we go. That's the Velvet Soul Experience with Inside Mine. The Richie Rich remix.